What is up, everybody? So I'm on my way to the little gig that I do on Tuesdays, jam session that I host with some of my buddies. And looks like today we got ourselves a heck of a news day. Haven't got a lot of information on it yet, but there's apparently an active shooter at the YouTube headquarters, Google. The little clips that I saw said that the shooter was female. Of course, all of this stuff is up in the air yet. Nothing's confirmed, but supposedly the shooter was female, and she was a disgruntled, trying to target a fella. So I heard that some people were wounded, and maybe at least one or two people were going to the hospital. So that's about the extent of what I know, or at least can mostly confirm right there. That's pretty alarming, but you know, I'm sure it's going to add fuel to the whole gun control fire. I probably shouldn't have said the two naughty words right there, but there it is. What else is going on? There's a thundering herd of immigrants coming up through Mexico. Apparently they're mostly Honduran and Mexican. I've heard differing reports of how many there are. Heard a few hundred to 1,500 to maybe a couple thousand. We'll see what happens when they get to our border. I mean, we're going to have ourselves an international incident on our hands, potentially. If these people are standing at the border and the Mexican federales are talking about just pushing them out. And maybe there's going to be a possibility of American citizens, maybe, or people that are already here, let's just say it that way, that maybe there's going to be some kind of planned entry point, and these people are going to be lined up sort of like the pipeline protests and trying to make sure that all of this herd gets into the country, which that wouldn't make much sense because, you know, Border Patrol or ICE just have to wait around and scoop them up. I mean, unless there's like some kind of really planned dispersal for these people, I don't think they're gonna just they're just gonna disappear off into the woodworks. I don't know. Here's my thing with the immigration and all that. I don't really build a wall, don't build a wall, whatever. But for the economic stability and the care of the people that are American citizens or are taking a path to citizenship currently, or were born American citizens, we need to be protecting them and the laws that we have on the books, and so that we don't have overrun social programs, because we're already tons of debt. I mean, we could people always say, oh, we could take money from the military, but that's a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. It's just not. There's too much. We're policing too much of the world. We're in way too deep to yank military funds, so you'd have to take it from somewhere else. Would you potentially be willing to take it from schools, public school funding, to support some of these social programs to make sure that these people are housed and fed? Where are we exactly going to take the money from? Or should we just hike up more taxes on the middle class and have the middle class bear the burden. Because Bernie Sanders' thing of the 1%, you can take every dime from the 1% and you're not going to house and feed everybody and give them education. So something's going to have to give. And if we just let 1,200, 1,500 people just traipse across the border in a massive herd, which would be sure to be a giant media circus, what is that going to say? Because then we're just going to have everybody in Mexico will just go, fuck it, let's just go. We'll all plan it together. Friday's the day. Let's go Friday. Everybody to America. I don't know where we're going to put these people to work. We don't have that many strawberry picking jobs. There's only so many. And just because there's more people doesn't mean there's more farms and more stuff for them to pick. I don't understand why people don't get this. And of course, they're not all going to be strawberry pickers. They're not all going to work in farms or any of that stuff. Some of them are going to be tradesmen. Some of them have actual job skills. But we're gonna either need to close the border and develop an easier path to citizenship, or we'll have to strengthen our border and limit the amount of people that come over at a time. And it wouldn't be racist because we've done it tons of times before, just because. Sometimes you got to shut the gates and let everybody get situated, then we can open the gate back up. My thing with Mexico and all these countries to the south of us is that there's corruption problems. Mexico is overrun by cartel. So there is a reason. These people are not necessarily immigrants. They're refugees. And they are escaping basically a tyrannical government. And here's why, one of the parts that I have a hard time feeling sorry for them is they've allowed this to happen because they allowed themselves to be disarmed. So now their chances of overthrowing this corrupt, tyrannical government in Mexico, Honduras, Venezuela, El Salvador, you name it, their chances are next to nothing. Because guess who's got all the weapons? It doesn't make any sense. So that, and people in the left-wing media, which is pretty much most of the mainstream media, they're about to light their hair on fire over this thing. And people on the right are kind of freaking out too, because they're like, well, if there's a herd of people thinking they're going to just trape over the border, I mean, you might have some actual vigilantes going out there protecting the border and say, hey, we're not having it. Then we're going to have ourselves an international incident. Maybe we wind up declaring war on Mexico and annexing it. That's a pretty radical thought, but stranger things have happened. There might be a chance that we could, maybe we annex Mexico for a limited amount of time. 20 years or so. We clean out all the corruption and like, okay, Mexico, you're off on your own again. You're free to go. We help them with their infrastructure. And these people don't have to leave their homeland. So that's the other thing that I don't think that people understand. People aren't coming to America because they necessarily want to be here. They're coming here because they think they're going to get something better than where they were. But that's not necessarily the case. They might go from living in under a blue tarp with a dirt floor, and they're cooking their dinner over a an old Goodyear tire to being in America to where they live in something that has, you know, it basically a slum. And in some places, all over the place, you see it in San Antonio, man, there are places that are run down. And it's all over the Southwest. Texas, New Mexico, Arizona. Some of these places are shitholes. And it's like, so how are we giving these people a better life when we're giving them just barely enough money, and they're earning just barely enough to live? They can't speak the language, so they can't, it's hard for them to elevate themselves. We're not teaching them to, if we were forcefully, not forcefully, but actively teaching them, making sure that everybody knew English, they would have a little bit better chances of job skills. In Texas, where I live, if you can speak Spanish, you already automatically get a pay increase because we have so many people here that don't speak English. Why can't we flip-flop that and have it to where, like, okay, well, let's make sure we're teaching everybody English. No, but everybody's got to do this thing where we're catering. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Our diversity is our strength. Well, how are we strength? How are we exuding strength and strengthening our nation when we don't even speak the same fucking language? Even in China, Mandarin is the common language. Pretty much everybody can speak it, unless you live in certain pockets of Tibet or whatever. Well, why don't we do that here? It's not racist to make people speak one language. So we can all, I mean, I'm not a huge religious guy, but you got to read the Babylon story. If we can't communicate with each other, how are we going to be stronger? Anyway, that's where I'm at with that. Looks like it's getting ready to rain on my way to the gig, so I'll shut it down from there. Supposedly, last thing, supposedly YouTube is having glitches. Yesterday, my channel was down all day. It was down for like 24 hours. Full day. I don't know what's up with that, but I am suspicious. So, I can't make any full-on claims, but I am suspicious. But this morning, I got up, started messing around. My channel was back up. My videos were back up. So, I've also noticed that I'm getting less and less traffic. So, I'm a little suspicious of that. That's been happening for a while. Because I have some videos that have hundreds of views or more, and some videos that have like 2. And maybe it's because the titles that I have are being shadow blocked or whatever. I can't say for sure, but I'm just saying I'm suspicious. So anyway, if you like my content, like my commentary, please like, share, subscribe, tap the bell so you get notifications when I go live like this, which I'm going to try to do fairly regularly. And I'll do some more screen sharing and stuff. I'm in the middle of I'm buying a new house and I'm moving, so I got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm not super on top of the news and stuff that's happening because of all this. But anyway, if you love me, say so down there in the comment box. If you hate me and you want to fight and argue, just say so down there in the comment box. I always appreciate you talking, and let's have some fun. Till then, I am the Mad Hooter. We'll see you next time. Defend the faith.